The day I watched 30,000 gallons of mountain water crash through Sylvia Hawthorne's basement ceiling, I knew fate had delivered a reckoning that would cost her everything. Standing in her flooded man cave, I saw her husband's $80,000 home theater vanish under a torrent of creek water while Sylvia screamed about lawsuits and insurance claims. The sharp tang of justice mingled with the stench of soaked drywall as water roared through her designer's ceiling like nature's vengeance. My boots squelched on her ruined Italian leather furniture, and I couldn't help but savor the irony. 6 months earlier, this power-hungry HOA president had tried to bury my family's 80-year-old creek under concrete, not knowing she was picking a fight with a hydraulic engineer who understood water's relentless power. My name is Ethan Caldwell, and I thought inheriting my grandfather's 3-acre slice of Colorado paradise would mend the scars of a brutal divorce. The crystal-clear creek running through our backyard was my childhood haven, where Grandpa Henry taught me to catch trout barehanded and name every bird by its call. That creek, fed by mountain runoff, had flowed strong for 80 years, sustaining a vibrant ecosystem where my kids, Lily and Max, now built stone dams and chased salamanders every weekend. More than a scenic treasure, it was legally untouchable, protected by Grandpa Henry's 1952 water rights, which my 15 years at Morrison Environmental taught me were ironclad. First in use, first and right junior users like Sylvia's McMansion could never challenge it. The creek wasn't just our family's pulse. It kept property values high, wildlife thriving, and cooling costs low while neighbors' AC units bled them dry. Then Sylvia Hawthorne stormed into our lives like a venomous queen in designer heels. Fresh from Phoenix with new money, she bought the grandest house in Pinefield Springs and acted like it crowned her empress. Her husband, Roland, a car dealership tycoon with Winner One vanity plates on his Escalade, parked it like a trophy in their circular driveway. Within months, Sylvia clawed her way to HOA president, unleashing a reign of terror disguised as community improvement. She targeted anyone who didn't fit her sterile vision of perfection, hammering them with fines, violations, and harassment until they caved or fled. Her perfume couldn't mask the rot of her petty tyranny, poisoning our once quiet neighborhood. The war began with a certified letter that spiked my blood pressure. Sylvia demanded I remediate the creek within 30 days or face $500 daily fines, claiming it bred mosquitoes and threatened property damage. The audacity was staggering. She, who'd never seen a natural stream, lecturing an engineer about water management. I knocked on her door with Grandpa Henry's water rights and offered compromises: fencing, mosquito treatments, landscaping. She dismissed the documents without a glance, her $1,000 heels grinding gravel as she declared, "Precedent cannot be set for special treatment." Her campaign had already crushed others. Mrs. Nguyen, a Vietnamese grandmother, tore out her heirloom tomato garden under Sylvia's threats. Tom, a young father, repainted his house during his wife's chemotherapy because Sylvia deemed its color too bold. And Ms. Clara, a retired teacher, faced fines for Christmas decorations she'd already removed. 3 families had spent thousands to escape her wrath, feeding Sylvia's addiction to control. As an engineer, I knew water doesn't vanish when blockhead. It finds a way, often with devastating force. Sylvia had picked the wrong fight. She escalated with a rigged HOA meeting, scheduled during work hours to exclude opposition, where her cronies approved a 4-to-1 vote to force creek remediation. A cease and desist letter followed, citing fake city ordinances. Most homeowners crumble under such tactics, too overwhelmed to verify claims. But Sylvia underestimated our neighborhood's fury. At a coffee shop meeting, 23 residents shared stories that boiled my blood. Mrs. Nguyen's trembling voice as she mourned her grandmother's seeds, Tom's tears over painting his house during his wife's recovery, Clara's outrage at baseless fines. Sylvia's selective enforcement spared her allies while bankrupting others. My research uncovered gold. The 1998 HOA documents exempted my creek from covenants, and the city confirmed its environmental protection status. The State Water Rights Commission affirmed Grandpa Henry's senior claim. Armed with this, I filed complaints while local kids launched a Save Our Creek petition, gathering 200 signatures in a week. Even my ex-wife, Rachel, offered legal help, a sign Sylvia's tyranny had united the community. But Sylvia doubled down, parking her Escalade to block my driveway, calling my employer to smear me, and filing false health department complaints about mosquito-infested water. Ironic, given her own stagnant pond. Her biggest blunder was dragging County Inspector Mike Torres into her vendetta. Expecting a swamp, he found a pristine creek teeming with protected Colorado cutthroat trout. His report not only cleared me, but flagged Sylvia's complaint as frivolous, sparking agency scrutiny. Then came the anonymous envelope that changed everything. Photos and receipts revealed Sylvia's $45,000 basement renovation, unpermitted concrete work, and drainage modifications that disrupted the groundwater feeding my creek. Her French drain system, meant to keep Roland's man cave dry, had starved our creek by 30%, causing the very flooding she blamed on me. The evidence was damning. Illegal construction, EPA violating concrete washout into storm drains, and a timeline matching my creek's decline. My attorney, Laura Bennett, called it an environmental felony under the Clean Water Act, with $50,000 daily fines and remediation costs that could bankrupt Sylvia. Her accusations, mosquitoes, property damage, were her own crimes reflected back. Our war council met at Flapjack Junction, where the smell of bacon mingled with the thrill of revenge. Laura spread legal documents like battle plans, while Dr. Emily Chun, a water quality expert, proved our creek was cleaner than tap water. Neighbors, led by Ms. Clara's organizational genius, formed a resistance network. Sylvia's desperation spiraled. She tried bribing contractor Jake Larson for a fake report on creek erosion. Jake recorded her, capturing felony-level perjury solicitation. Her midnight trespassing, caught on my security cameras, showed her stealing soil samples like a deranged scientist. Sheriff Deputy Alvarez arrested her mid-act, her mascara-streaked face lit by his flashlight. The final blow came when Sylvia planned to fill the creek with concrete during my Denver work trip. Neighbors' texts alerted me to the midnight concrete trucks, and I raced back at 80 miles per hour, coordinating with the sheriff, EPA, and Channel 9 News. At dawn, Sylvia stood by the trucks in a business suit, barking orders like a warlord. Foreman Miguel, a 20-year veteran, refused to proceed without permits, citing my water rights. Deputy Alvarez served cease and desist orders, and Dr. Chen warned of Clean Water Act violations. Roland's arrival was the knockout punch. Publicly denounced Sylvia, revealing $60,000 in hidden legal fees threatening their finances. Her meltdown, screaming about conspiracies, went viral, turning her into a symbol of HOA corruption. The emergency HOA meeting packed the community center with 160 furious residents. Sylvia's demand for a closed session died without support. Treasurer Clara exposed $87,000 in embezzled funds, bankrupting the HOA. My presentation, water rights, environmental data, security footage left no doubt of Sylvia's crimes. Laura delivered the death blow. Criminal charges from the Attorney General for environmental violations, fraud, and perjury, plus IRS scrutiny for unreported income. Sylvia's unhinged rant, accusing everyone of being my terrorist network, became a YouTube sensation. Roland announced their divorce, and paramedics treated Sylvia's breakdown as neighbors cheered. Sylvia's empire collapsed under $68,000 in EPA fines, forced home sale, and bankruptcy. The creek, restored with Roland's guilt money, became a regional conservation showcase. My kids, Lily and Max, grew into passionate conservationists, and the Grandpa Henry Memorial Conservation Center now educates thousands. Our story spurred Colorado HOA law reforms, and the annual Creek Festival celebrates community and nature. Every morning, walking the creek with coffee, I hear Grandpa Henry's voice. Some fights protect what belongs to future generations. What's your HOA horror story? Share it below. It might inspire the next victory against suburban tyranny.